God creates everything out of nothing. And everything which God is to use, he first reduces to nothing. The deepest form of despair is to choose to be another than himself. Happiness is the greatest hiding place for despair. Once you are born in this world, you're old enough to die. Wherever there is a crowd, there is untruth. To be a woman is something so strange, so confusing and so complicated that only a woman could put up with it. The unhappy person is never present to themselves because they always live in the past or the future. Confidence is the present tense of hope. What if everything in the world were a misunderstanding? What if laughter were really tears? To cheat oneself out of love is the most terrible deception. It is an eternal loss for which there is no reparation, either in time or in eternity. Christ has not only spoken to us by his life, but has also spoken for us by his death. The object of Christian faith is not the teaching but the teacher. Are you not aware that there comes a midnight hour when everyone must unmask? The minority is always stronger than the majority, because the minority is generally formed by those who really have an opinion. For without risk there is no faith, and the greater the risk, the greater the faith. It is not where we breathe, but where we love, that we live. It is not the path which is the difficulty, rather, it is the difficulty which is the path. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. One can advise comfortably from a safe port. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true, the other is to refuse to believe what is true. It seems essential, in relationships and all tasks, that we concentrate only on what is most significant and important. Old age realizes the dreams of youth. Look at Dean Swift. In his youth he built an asylum for the insane. In his old age he was himself an inmate. Faith is the highest passion in a human being. Many in every generation may not come that far, but none comes further. Since my earliest childhood a barb of sorrow has lodged in my heart. As long as it stays I am ironic, if it is pulled out I shall die. I begin with the principle that all men are bores. Surely no one will prove himself so great a bore as to contradict me in this. Personality is only ripe when a man has made the truth his own. It belongs to the imperfection of everything human that man can only attain his desire by passing through its opposite. Love is all, it gives all, and it takes all. Marriage brings one into fatal connection with custom and traditions and customs are like the wind and weather, altogether incalculable. It is so hard to believe because it is so hard to obey. Far from idleness being the root of all evil, it is rather the only true good. During the first period of a man's life the greatest danger is not to take the risk. At the bottom of enmity between strangers lies indifference. Most men pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that they hurry past it. Once you label me, you negate me. People understand me so poorly that they don't even understand my complaint about them not understanding me. The more a man can forget, the greater the number of metamorphoses which his life can undergo. The more he can remember, the more divine his life becomes. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. Trouble is the common denominator of living. It is the great equalizer. Love does not alter the beloved, it alters itself. There is nothing with which every man is so afraid as getting to know how enormously much he is capable of doing and becoming. Purity of heart is to will one thing. Take away paradox from the thinker and you have a professor. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. Life has its own hidden forces which you can only discover by living. Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself. Our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself, that self which one truly is. Don't forget to love yourself. Please share your favorite Soren Kierkegaard's quote in the comments area. For further updates, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching.